Yeah.
Hey kids, welcome to another episode of Monster of the Week. Now in Technicolor, I guess. This week we will launch our this season, I guess, of Monster of the Week with pre-modern content today. And I don't know what we were doing going forward. So, well, this is Constructing Old School Magic, Monster of the Week. And I do have someone that can help me with knowing what we were doing going forward. And that's Anton. Are you out there?
I'm here, Seb. What's up?
Yeah. Well, I'm good. I know you must be tired after soccer practice for whatever.
Yeah.
This weekend.
We arranged a whole goddamn football cup for our 11-year-olds in our town with like 35 teams and a lot of work. So I've been like flipping burgers for 2 straight days, selling burgers and some noodle wok, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Good times. Yeah.
I have taken out. Did you see that our friend Jonas had like this Nubcon beer?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
it exploded. Yeah.
And I realized I have 3 of them in my shelf here.
Okay.
So I don't know what will happen, but I will try to open it now. This is, I guess, 3-4 years old. Okay, that was okay, I think.
It didn't explode. Is this for the Technicolor version? Now we can't say listeners anymore. We have to say viewers also, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got them. Yeah, we'll see about that.
Tastes very weird. I don't know if it's good yet.
Okay.
I'll get back to that. But what are we doing today?
We are picking up some backlog, I guess. We did decide to take a summer break. So I played very few monthlies this year, but I did play April and I did play June. And I faced this guy, our main guest, Henry Enrique Martins, in April on Mono Red Ponza and in June on I Don't Remember, but we had good conversation and it's a cool guy and he's been crushing, it turns out, the Portugal monthly with this deck and even the Discord Pre-Modern Webcam League. So naturally we have to learn more about Mono Red Ponza in Pre-Modern. Welcome, Henry or Enrique.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. And in June, I think the matchup was Mono Blue Storm versus Red White Control.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Very close games.
Yeah, it was cool. But that's what I love about playing webcam Magic. Like you meet new friends all over the world. And sure. I really enjoyed our games. So yeah, I thought that this one we need to talk more about. Because and Seb, you are a Ponza guy, right? So
yeah, for sure. Wildfire at heart.
Yeah.
And so I've checked out the deck, and it's going to be really interesting to hear your thoughts about it, Henrik.
I actually didn't know you were a Ponza guy, Seb. I think it was in May. I also played Wildfire, my own version with Burning Wish. I managed to take it to top 8. I couldn't play the top 8 because then I traveled to China. But yeah, I'm also a big Wildfire fan. We can talk more about it sometime.
Yeah, I just needed to travel to China. Okay. well.
Humble brag much, right?
Yeah. No, but
split it in there.
Yeah.
No, but like, it's gonna be interesting to hear. I like it's an old strategy, right? And it's been a while since like I've seen it doing well. It's not Mono Red, at least I haven't seen doing that well like you have. What's the usual version you do see, Anton? It's basically
I mean, first there was there's always been some sort of Red Ponza, but then like Mr. T, we did an episode with Antti Slotherin on that one a few years ago.
Yeah.
And then I guess Fran popularized the more like Oath Ponza deck, the Terravor deck. But there's always been like elements of Stone Rains, I guess, in Pre-Modern. But this one is like pure red, which is super cool. But Can I call you Henry, or do you want to be called Henrik? I'll call you Henry.
Henry's fine.
Yeah,
No,
it's
no,
fine.
people,
Okay.
the locals here all call me Henry. It's just they
Okay.
can't pronounce my name, so it's
Yeah,
easier that way.
yeah. We'll do the English pronunciation, I guess. But like, are you a monored mage at heart, or what's your
Uh,
history with Ponza?
Not quite.
Yep.
Not quite. I mean, I do like control decks. So that's one thing that's drawn me to it. I play everything really. Um, Combo control, aggro, tempo.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I do love Ponza also. I think it's something that we see a lot of in pre-modern, not so much in other formats.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to try. Actually, my initial list for Mono Red Ponza was based off of a Brazilian player that did well in a webcam league. I think his
Okay.
name is Guilherme Gemi,
Yep.
if I remember
Yeah.
correctly. And it's somewhat similar to the list I played today.
Okay.
And when I saw his list, I thought it was quite neat, very focused. All the cards made sense, and some cards may seem strange at first, but they actually are there to tackle two of our worst matchups that turn them into decent matchups, which is
Yeah.
Terrageddon or Ponza and survival decks.
Yeah.
Because with Ponza, especially moderate Ponza, if they play survival, they can keep getting men and dorks, right? And
Yeah.
that's you can't deal with that, at least not continuously. With Oath Ponza, you still have Oath or other ways to deal with to clean the board, but with Mono Red Ponza, you need to use other cards like
Yeah.
Furnace. I'm talking about Phyrexian Furnace. That's our way of taking Squee out of the equation
Yeah.
and stop them from having card advantage and going over the top of our Ponza effects.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
neat. You play four of them in the list. We will, I
Yeah.
guess, talk most about, but I will go through like your
Mhm.
iterations. But yeah, you play a full playset of it
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
It's a great card for control decks.
for sure.
Mm.
And like graveyard strategies are clearly mainstay in pre-modern. I was on Replenish when we played each other, and yeah, it's a problematic card. I think I won that match we did, but still, like
Yes.
yeah, it's another axis to beat, I guess. So I do.
Yes.
It seems kind of nice, not just like destroying lands. You have to control other stuff as well.
Yeah, exactly. I think in pre-modern there are many cards or many decks that make use of graveyard.
Yeah.
I think there are only a few decks that actually don't use graveyard at all. Goblins is one of them. I don't know, White Weenie or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe Standstill. But then, Replenish, Terrageddon, Old Ponza, Psychotog, Contamination, even Sly
Yeah, for
uses
sure.
graveyard with Green
Yeah.
Mummy Master. So
Yeah.
it has a very wide use, Phyrexian Furnace.
I mean, worst case scenario, it cycles, right? It replaces itself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And you kind of need to have a like turn one play as well. So
Yeah, that's the other thing, because Mono Red Ponza, it's not you don't want to do anything. You don't want to pass the turn and not do something, right?
Yeah.
So you want to make the best use of your mana. You need to be mana efficient, and you have a lot of one drops: the Fanatics, the Furnaces, the Lava Man, or you can use the Lava Master ability. You have bolts as well. Your turn one play can also be good to encampment.
Yeah.
So you really need to make sure that turn one you're doing something,
Mhm.
because the best sequence for Mono Red Ponza is turn one play a threat or furnace, turn two either brawlers or port, and then
Mhm.
turn three and beyond, continuous Ponza effects. That's like the ideal
Yeah.
hand
Yeah.
for Mono Red Ponza.
I mean, veteran brawler, Seb. That's a card.
Well, I'm just happy to see so many, like, I guess going mono red, monocolor, anything, it brings forward some creatures and some choices that makes it more interesting.
Yeah.
For sure.
And veteran brawlers is one of those cards, I guess. Would you tell us how your thoughts around that card?
Sure. I mean, it just seems to go so well with Ponza, right? If it's not good against, draw go decks that are going to be completely untapped, but if the opponent is trying to establish some sort of board, be it creatures or enchantments, artifacts, whatever, you can get 1 or 2 attacks, or they may also not play something because the threat is there, and that also gives you tempo. And then if they don't play anything because they don't want to get hit, then you can follow up with Ponza effects, and they're getting behind, right?
Yeah.
And that threat is still there. So Brawlers really clicks with this deck. It does come out sometimes, especially against blue decks.
Yeah.
But against everything else, it's a great threat.
Yeah, like when they can do stuff in your turn anyhow. But usually your opponents need to utilize their mana as much as possible, since you're just picking it away. And I guess it also dodges the like bolt check in a sense. I don't know how. In many instances, like it's not that easy to kill in that sense, I guess.
Yeah, 4 toughness is very good in pre-modern. It dodges bolt, Call of the Herd. I'm sure I'm missing other things, but it's a great defensive creature. And against creature decks, something like goblins, you want to get it down early, prevent their attacks, and then hopefully, they'll develop their board because they need to overcome it. Yeah. And hopefully by the time they, have a sizable board, you can then Earthquake for 2, and then you get your brawlers, and they, have nothing.
Yeah,
so it's,
you have one short Phoenix in the sideboard also, I guess, but you have a lot of like those sort of. You're not playing any like Pyroclasp or anything, do you?
No.
Earthquake.
No.
Earthquake for the win then.
Yeah, I think Earthquake is an excellent card, and my initial version, I had only 2, and I think 1 in the sideboard, but I think 3 is the sweet spot. It just wins a lot of games. And it's not completely useless in matchups where the opponent doesn't have creatures.
No.
I think I mostly take them out versus something like Stifle Knot. But because we develop big mana, it can be a finisher. It's good against Opal Wave. It's good against Enchantress. It is sometimes a bit awkward with Grim Lavamancer, but you can play it in a way that, if you have both, you can wait until you Earthquake before playing the Lavamancer. I think in all the games that I've done, it only happened once that I've had to sacrifice my Lavamancer to Earthquake, and that was to kill Argothian Enchantress.
Nice.
Because it has to be. It has to be.
But you are playing like Mob Fanatics and Avalanche Riders also, but those, I guess, aren't as valuable in early on.
Yeah,
I guess you Earthquake against the creature decks earlier than an Avalanche Rider.
Yes, but I mean, Mog Fanatic and Avalanche Riders, you at least get some value before you blow them up, right? If you destroy a land with Avalanche Riders and you hit for 2, that's a Stone Rain and a Shock, right? I wouldn't be satisfied Earthquake my own Avalanche Riders. Mog Fanatic hopefully also gets 2 damage on the opponent, worst case scenario. But oftentimes it deals quite a lot of damage. And it's great in this deck because you play it early. The opponent doesn't really want to remove a Mog Fanatic, right? It's a feels bad if you have the swords or bolt Mog Fanatic. But then after you play it, you control their lands with port, Stone Rains, etc. So it ends up, many games it deals like 5-6 damage. Just a Fanatic. That's why I always say perfect Ponza hand, Mog Fanatic, port, Stone Rain, Avalanche Riders, whatever.
And like it takes care of all the things you don't like to see turn 1, like a Mana Dork or whatever.
Yeah, it hits the Mana Dorks.
And it has the best flavor text in Magic, I think.
Yeah, probably.
That I'm not sure.
I got it.
It's pretty good, but I don't know if it would be the best.
It's up there.
I like the sentiment of it.
It's fun to see how much Premodern has evolved if we look back like throughout the years. But like having a playset Furnace main deck and like basically 3 Earthquakes and Curse Scroll and Grim Lava Monsters, like how much you respect the graveyard and how much you respect like the swarm decks now. It's cool. I really dig it. But I think it's sound to have this mana sink spell in a deck that wants to go. I mean, I assume your deck goes pretty long, Henry, right? Like it takes a few turns to kill.
Yeah, it's rarely a fast kill.
Yeah.
Unless you get brawlers and you're always hitting with it every turn, and
Yeah.
then you double bolt or something.
Mm.
It does go to at least turn 7, 8, 9
For sure.
to finish. Oftentimes you finish with the manlands, get to encampment or Mishra's factory. But yeah, we're playing the long game, but hopefully not too long, because what our deck is trying to do is we're still an aggro control-ish deck, but what the opponent is doing will likely, be more powerful than what we're doing if we let them do it, right? So we don't want to. We don't want to let them develop enough that they go over the top.
But I just want to, I don't know if we should go in this already now, but what's the reason for not playing green? Anton, you mentioned like we need to have some answers for the creatures, usually 2 toughness creatures. We need to respect the graveyard, but mono red has problem with enchantments. That's usually one reason why Goblin plays green with naturalize and stuff. What's your reasoning?
So actually, there's a fella here in the UK, and he plays a version that splashes green for enchantment hate. The reason not to play green is you have a better mana base. So looking at mono red Ponza mana base, we only have 14 red sources. That's not even enough to consistently cast pillage on turn 3, right? We want at least 18 sources for that. Now splashing green is not terrible, because we already have wooded foothills for Lapimancer, but you can replace the mountains with Carplusan forests, throw an extra forest in there, and you could have easily nine green sources. But yeah, I think mono red version, you can splash green for sure, and if you expect a meta that's more enchantment oriented, you could do that. But I just feel the red version is a little bit more focused, more consistent. Of course, it has its weakness, like you said. Enchantress is tough. If they go exploration turn 1, you're likely going to have a tough time. But actually, the way I built it is already to try and not maximize, but increase our odds against Enchantress. But we can talk more about that.
I guess usually when you're playing green, you go into the oath, and then you might as well like do the Terrageddon-ish decks. I think I wrote to you, Anton, a while back about Lannis smokestack green. That's more green, heavily green. Also, I think he only splashes red. I think he plays like volcanic spray, and basically, as you mentioned with your earthquake, he plays pyroclasp in the sideboard. So it's more of a sideboard red in that sense.
I mean, it's funny because this deck, the mono red version, it even has 4 main deck like artifact hate cards in pillage. So it's just Enchantress, enchantments. That is the what you can't deal with, right?
Yes.
But having good mana base is obviously a super solid argument to play mono red. I agree.
And the thing is, you can't go below 4 wastelands. Port, same thing. I love Port in Ponza decks. Mishra's Factory, same. So that's 12 colorless sources. I wouldn't go above 27 lands. Okay, maybe 28 lands would be a stretch, because you have 4 wastelands. If they're usable, you'd have 24 lands, for other purposes. But yeah, I think 26, 27 would be the sweet spot for Ponza. Well, of course, it depends on your build. I'm sure there are builds of 28, 29 lands. But for mono red, the way I look at it, 26, 27 is the sweet spot.
It's consistent, way more consistent in that sense. Also, when you start splashing, it's harder, and it hurts, I guess, with the mono base and stuff.
Yes.
And you mentioned enchantments. I guess you are not as susceptible to cards like goblins are with engineered plague and I don't know, humility and stuff like that. You don't really care as much because you looking at your deck, it's sort of a burn deck also. With you have earthquakes, you have the fanatics. That's at least one damage usually, and
Yes.
like with the lands, oh, you have 3 G to encampments and 4 missions factories, and then the lightning bolts and stuff. So you can finish like just going overhead. You don't really need your creatures, I guess.
Yes. Yeah, because we have different threats. Something like Engineer Plague or even Humility is not the end of the world. I mean, Humility can be annoying sometimes, especially if you draw a lot of Avalanche Riders. But it's generally not a problem because you can go with the man lands or even just direct burn damage. But one thing you mentioned, you said that this is a bit like a burn deck. The versions that you see the most of Mono Red Ponza are actually halfway between a burn deck and a Ponza deck. But I actually don't think that's the right way to approach Mono Red Ponza. One thing that I've discussed a lot with folks here in the UK also is threats versus burn spells. And like I mentioned earlier, Mock Fanatic sometimes can do 5, 6 damage. Best case scenario. Worst case scenario, okay, 1 damage, 2 damage. But I would always prefer that over, a shock or a seal of fire. And that's something that I see a lot when people build Mono Red Ponza, is they use Incinerate or Seal of Fire or Firebolt. Firebolt can be okay sometimes. But later on 5 mana, you could just hit them with manlands, possibly. So my approach to building this deck was, this is not a burn deck. This is a Ponza deck, and threats will always be better paired with Ponza effects compared to burn spells. Also because we have no way of drawing cards, right? You can't expect to draw all burn spells or most burn spells to take the opponent from 20 to 0. That's, that would take a very long time and they would recover. So the threats that we play, or the creatures that we play, are, the best in service for Ponza. Fanatic, Lavamancer, Brawlers, and Avalanche Riders. I don't want to play Incinerate or Seal of Fire or, similar burn spells. Bolt is the exception because Bolt is so good. And you can sometimes finish off the opponent. But I think, my ideal version of Ponza has to be this mix between threats, Ponza effects.
I think Lightning Bolt going way back historically in pre-modern was underplayed if you weren't playing like mono red burn or whatever. But it's really good again in some sense. And I've always had with Lightning Bolt, whatever format you're playing, it's like you're at 3 or you're at 2. It's like, okay, I do have lightning bolts in my deck, so you just sit there and hope for, and sometimes you have like 3 lightning bolts or whatever. Okay, go get him down to 9. That's no problem at all. So I think you have reach, but you choose instead to play veteran brawlers instead of more burn. Basically, you have more threats in that sense, I guess.
Synergy, man, synergy.
Yes, synergy.
Exactly. Exactly. And if you get a hit with a veteran brawlers and you deal, even if you only deal 4 damage, that's most likely better than any burn spell.
Right. For sure.
Yeah,
already.
You can
and
always
you still have
block.
a card.
Yeah, and you can always use it to block at least. All you need to tap out, for those who don't know that card, you basically need to have more. No, he needs to be tapped out.
They need to be tapped out or no land.
Yeah, and if you're tapped out, you can at least block. So
yes,
that's how it works.
I've seen other creatures in this type of archetype, like the expensive creatures for mana sync purposes, but like Rorik's Bladewing, for instance, and Shard Phoenix, which you play in sideboard. I mean, that's got to be like inevitability, right? Just to be able to recur it late game.
Yes. Yeah.
Talk about that, like those options.
Shard Phoenix, to me, yes, I like it as a one-off. It just wins games on its own. If you manage to resolve it against goblins, you will very likely win. Probably the same goes against elves or a lot of aggro decks. But it's a unique effect. You never would want 2 in the graveyard. So I think one of is fine. We have 3 earthquakes. We have, Mock Fanatics, Grim Lavamancer. So we have a lot of ways to deal with creatures. But I have it just as a one-off, as my, inevitable Pyroclasm recursion. Rorik's Bladewing, I've seen that, and I've seen folks playing other dragons as well, just more expensive threats. The cost is a little bit. It's what scares me a little bit about it.
It's a bit clunky in that sense.
Yeah. For the listeners, it's 3 red, 6/5 flying haste dragon. But yeah.
Yes, it's the 3 red that scares me a bit about it. I think having late game threats can make sense with this deck. But of course in low numbers, right? One Rorik's Bladewing, okay, possibly fine. If you go three of those, or Shivan Dragon or whatever, that's maybe too much. But in that particular case, the mana is a little bit because we only have 14 red sources at the end of the day, and we're playing fetches as well. So it's very likely that we won't get there. And if we have 6 mana, there's a high chance that we could just hit with our manlands, or maybe we want to continue porting the opponent. Will playing Rorik's Bladewing be good for us, or could they remove it, with swords, and then play another land instead of us keeping them tapped with port? I don't know. I'd rather be efficient, if that makes sense, or focused in what the plan is.
Yeah, and
it's a little bit clunky, maybe.
Yeah, I guess it's harder than it looks, because, as you mentioned, you play Gitto encampments, and you need to reshawn port sometimes, and maybe you can't afford bringing back the Shard Phoenix even in that sense, because if correct me if I'm wrong, the play pattern usually is like you want a Lava Monster or a Fanatic or even a Brawler, and then you just want to basically each turn destroy a land or tap down a land. You need to use your mana like consistently.
Yes.
So I guess you're not like, you can't play Viashino Sandstalkers and stuff like that, like cute cards.
No,
I tried to drop some another card out that I've seen way back.
That's nice. I mean, one way to actually up your red count is Blood Moon, which is a card I want to talk about here. But maybe do you want to save that one, or should we want to talk about it now?
We could talk about it now. Yeah.
Okay. So Blood Moon in Pre-Modern.
I've actually been thinking about it for in another context, not in the context of Ponza, of course, because why would you want to Blood Moon your own ports, vicious factories, etc.? I was thinking about it in the context of red-white control as a way of against Ponza decks, against FEB, HFEB. I think it's a card that if you play it early can also be good against something like Enchantress or Replenish. Because they play a lot of non-basics, it can really hinder them. But it does feel narrow most of the times. So in very specific contexts, for example, red-white control, the reason why I was thinking about it, because I have, Enlightened Tutor, so I'm actually increasing the chances of getting it early. But Ponza is something that's scary from the red-white control player point of view. So I was just thinking of alternative ways of dealing with that. If you're mono red Ponza and the opponent plays Blood Moon, then that's very crippling. Because you heavily rely on all your non-basics. But hey, at least you'd have plenty of red mana.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I guess you have to rethink your whole deck, I guess. But you want to punish land bases and lands. Like Blood Moon, come on, it's a good card, I guess. But which takes me to another question here. Like, what's your arena of playing, or your outlet of playing Pre-Modern? Is it like webcam leagues, or do you play like Magic Online or IRL or?
No, I just play mostly webcam leagues and in person. So here in Cambridge, where I live, we often just go to the pub and play Pre-Modern. We have a small group, but I tend to go to the big events that also happen in London. They have leagues there, weekly, monthly, quarterly. I tend to go to the quarterly events, to the bigger tournaments, just because it's a little bit far away from where I am. But yeah, mostly webcam and in person. When I go to Portugal, sometimes I also try to go to big tournaments if there's any. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But like, why I'm asking also is like, are you expecting like 50% Dreadnought and Goblins and Sly in the room? Yeah, then probably Blood Moon is not a great card. But like, if you're having, my experience with webcam is it's like way more diverse and like you can expect basically anything. And then it can be such a hoser, but it also sucks. I mean, it's a bit awkward card. So Enlightened Tutor for a silver bullet, I think, sounds more.
Yes, yeah, because if you can, consistently cast it in matchups where, it still doesn't win you the game, but it may cripple the opponent for long enough to, give you the lead. I think then it makes sense. Otherwise, in pre-modern, I think it's a little bit too narrow. Other formats where they play duels, then it's an excellent card.
For sure.
Yeah, and like maybe that's a segue into sideboarding, because like you have well, I think you covered most of like what you're expecting from a regular meta. Do you have any like have you taken out many cards, and have you been figuring like maybe I should change up on this?
Yeah, I've changed the sideboard quite a bit. I think the main deck has mostly been stable. I tweaked the amount of earthquakes. Lava Masters went down from 4 to 3. A couple of things here and there. Sideboard, I've tried some different cards. So at the moment, the sideboard has 5 Pyroblast effects, has 3 Mock Salvages, 2 Overloads, Shard Phoenix, Suran Orb, Dust Bowl, and 2 Anarchies, I think, if I remember correctly.
Nice.
It is geared towards the big dogs. Stifle Not, Enchantress, Standstill. The Dust Bowl is for anything with non-basics, but Standstill is one where we want to get that little bit extra. At some point, I had Sowing Salt. I think this card can be very good. It has a little bit of tension with Dust Bowl and Wasteland, but even if you can thin down your opponent's deck or hit their Serra Sanctum, or or the 2-for-1 if they have the same land in hand, then it can be a great card. It's also another Ponza effect that replaces one of your creatures against Oath Ponza, because we have no way of dealing with Oath of Druids. If they resolve it, then we're in trouble. Sometimes, not always. You have
Sowing Salts, for the listeners, it's like, I think it's been played in like Modern also or something. Like you remove a non-basic card and all those cards in the deck, right?
And hand and
graveyard. And in play.
So it in play, no. It's
okay.
One in play. Target removes target non-basic land, and you go through their library and hand and remove any cards with the same name. So I actually thought of it after I lost against Enchantress in the final in Feb, I think. I was thinking, is there anything else that we can add to the sideboard that would make this a little bit better? Because Enchantress is a tough matchup, like I mentioned, and Sowing Salt really seemed to pop out, because if they make the mistake, or not necessarily mistake, but if they drop Serra Sanctum early and you can hit it with Sowing Salt, then that's a big slowdown for them. And then your plan can be to eradicate all of the white sources. That can be a win con, because green is the support color for Enchantress, white is the winning color, right? So that was my thinking anyway. But of course, it goes beyond Enchantress. Like I said, Landstill, Ponza decks, anything with a lot of non-basics, really. If it's a 1-for-1, it's okay. It can be better than 1-for-1 because it gives you hand information and it thins out their deck. So that's something that I may still experiment. I never actually drew it when I was playing with it. I may still bring it back, but the reason why I removed it now is because it's a little bit tense with Dust Bowl.
I mean, Dust Bowl is such an excellent card, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And yeah, I hear you. Like, obviously, you have a plan versus Oath as well. Like, you can just go End versus Landstill Lex. You have a lot of manlands, so
Yes.
Duskfall or Sowing Salt will change
Yes.
the balance, I guess. But yeah,
Mm.
it's cool. Like that whole cycle from versus Destiny with like Scour as well. Also a good like anti-enchantress card, the white.
Yes.
That exiles then enchantment and searches. Yeah, it's a very
Yeah.
cool.
It just
Mm.
wins if you hit their opalescence.
Opalescence, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But even if you play it early on an enchantress's presence, it can be
Oh,
very good.
yeah.
I have a sneaky one in my red white control sideboard as well.
Oh, I gotta hear more about your red white control in another topic, another day, I guess.
Yes.
But it does sound super sweet.
Yeah, but I just want to ask, like, you don't really need like powder kegs and stuff like that. Have you tried, or is it like
Mm,
you already have the answers for most of what you
yeah,
need?
I think we have answers from other stuff.
Mm.
One thing I wanted to mention on the Ponza v Ponza matchup, or against Oath Ponza specifically, is that the constraint was we always need to be able to take out the 4 brawlers.
Mm.
Because all the other creatures activating Oath, I'm okay with.
Mm-hmm.
Fanatic sacrifice, so you don't have a problem if they play Oath.
Mm.
Lavamancer will eat your lands off the grave, so if you have a Furnace in play, you can
Yeah,
still kill their Terravor, which has happened twice for me already.
yeah,
And
Mm.
Avalanche Riders, you have Echo, so you can
yeah,
also, take one of their lands. If they have Oath, of course, you can play around it or wait for Furnaces to eat their graveyard, maybe wait for 2 Furnaces in play, then play Avalanche Riders. But Veteran Brawlers, there's no way to
yeah.
get rid of it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You
So the
can't even
requirement was
bolt it yourself, man.
no,
Oh,
only Earthquake.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So I had to have 4 cards that I bring in versus Oath Ponza. That's
Mm.
Bull, previously Sowing Salt, and 2 Overloads.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm missing anything else. No, I think that's it.
No, no.
So,
And just another question here. You're playing like Mog Salvage. I guess you own. Like, do you care about any other artifacts in that
Yes, I'm
sense?
glad you asked. There
Yeah.
is one artifact which is very painful, which is Sabo's Web.
Yeah.
And
hell yeah.
Anton will remember this because when we played on the webcam league, he opened up with the Ancient Tomb Sabo's Web. I'm
No.
like, great. On game
Super.
1, um,
I even think
so
you played like Gitu Encampment Go, and I was like, yeah, okay.
yeah, yeah,
Ancient Tomb
that
Subs.
was fun.
Yeah,
So Sabo's Web is a pain in the bum, but also Stasis is a difficult
Mm.
matchup.
mm,
Stifle Knot is our hardest matchup. Generally, blue decks, right? And blue decks tend to
Yeah.
have artifacts. So Mock Salvage makes a lot of sense to me. It's also why we play 5 Red Blasts,
yeah.
because Daze and Gush decks are
Hmm.
just our most difficult matchups.
Okay.
Um,
I'm just asking because like I've seen Crash being played, like when you sacrifice a mountain, but maybe you're only playing 7 mountains. I guess Big Red is better with that card. You destroy an artifact, it's an instant. Is Mog
mhm,
Savage an instant also?
yes,
Okay,
yeah.
that's cool. Yeah.
I think I would still prefer Monk Salvage. I mean, we're 7 mountains, but we have 4 wooded foothills, so 11
Yeah, you're right. Right.
11 cards that can get you a mountain. But yeah, most decks that play Sabo's Web end up being blue. I think
Mm.
I may
Mm.
be wrong on that, but also you want to try and have a chance against the blue decks,
Yeah.
especially if you're
Mm.
taking this to a big tournament. You're
Yeah.
gonna get hit with Stasis or Stifle Knot, and Mock Salvage is also decent against Standstill for the Mishra's factories.
Yeah.
And the
For sure.
the big blue white version that plays with Sabo's Web and no man lands, you also want Salvage for that.
Yeah.
It's a very good card when it matters.
Have you tried Boil versus the blue decks?
I have not,
I mean,
because Gush
yeah,
and
yeah.
Daze,
Mm.
and it will likely get countered. It's 4 mana spell.
For sure. But it's
I
an
would
instant, so
rather.
it's like
Mm,
you can take you like sneak it in when they play the end of turn factor fiction or whatever. And it's like, yeah, okay, boil you
yeah,
bastards.
or even decree.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
it's a
yeah, for
blue
sure.
white,
Yeah, yeah,
they go decree and then you boil and then
yeah,
you go earthquake for one or something.
yeah.
It could catch them off guard,
I
but
mean, yeah, it's narrow, but it's like the fact that it's such a
mm,
weird that it's an instant makes it super interesting, I
it
guess.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I thought about it, but
yeah,
yeah, I think
I
with
get it.
4 mana, I'd rather Stone Rain and hold up Red Blast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Seems fine.
Yeah, makes sense.
Wow.
Um, do we have any other cards that you thought about, like in your 75 overall, or any
Uh,
changes going forward?
uh, at the moment, I'm happy with this version. I've thought about a few other cards. Um, so Black Vise is one of them.
Mm.
Oh
That
yeah.
can be good against the blue decks, and I think
Yeah.
the player that I was inspired from, he was playing Black Vise, three
Okay.
of them.
Mm.
As a main deck
And
card or as a sideboard card?
I believe it was as a sideboard card.
Ah, yeah, okay.
Mm.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's been a few
It's good
months, but
against
I think it was a
stasis, as
sideboard.
you mentioned.
Yeah.
Yes, most of the blue decks, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just another way, and they can't blue blast it.
No,
Mm.
So
just a good cyber card in that
I
sense.
could see that being a good
Yeah.
sideboard card.
Mm.
Another one is Ravenous Baboons from
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Exodus.
Hell
I
yeah.
think that one is a 4 mana 2/2, no echo, and when it enters, it destroys a non-basic.
Yeah.
Um, so
Avalanche
that's
Riders is the like more the what's the word?
flexible. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, but the like fire design of Magic, right? They
yeah,
nerf baboons by making Avalanche Riders in the end. But yeah,
yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess you could say that.
for sure.
Um, but it could still be a decent card. Again, it would make our deck worst against blue if you played it main deck because
Mm.
you can't hit Stifle Knot, and yeah, again a little bit of tension with Wasteland and Dust Bowl. For the decks that don't play many non-basics,
Yeah.
it could just sit in hand. Yeah, and it doesn't die to itself.
Mm.
If you're against Oath, that's something that you may want
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
to ditch your Avalanche Riders. But yeah, depending on the meta, I could see some play.
Mm.
And
Baboons.
what about what's it called? Like, is it Dwarven Miner or something?
Dwarven
Oh.
Miner? Yes. Dwarven
Sexiest
Miner.
magic card ever. No, that not yeah, that's the dwarven. There's another
Yeah,
the
Dwarven
blast miner.
Miner.
Yeah,
There's
that's
a
Is am I
yeah,
saying
that's
one?
okay. Yeah, the sexy dude that lies like this.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah, yeah.
dwarf. Okay, yeah, yeah. Then
that's
there's the
Dwarven
blast.
Miner.
Yeah, yeah. Then there's the
Mm.
blast miner with morph. Okay, yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes. I mean it's a fine card. I consider playing with one or two. But again, a little bit tense with Earthquake and
Mhm.
Oath decks.
Yeah.
So my choice was not to play it, but maybe still makes sense. I've definitely thought about it
Mm.
for quite some time.
Mm.
Again, meta dependent. If there's a lot of non-basics going
Yeah,
around,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
could be it could
definitely.
take over the game potentially.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
but it's probably going to be a removal rot, right? Everyone would want to remove it at first sight.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess
It's
so.
relevant. I think so.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but any other like prison cards or anything we've missed? You're only playing. It's not a prison card, but you're only playing one curse scroll,
Yes.
and then you have like your Mishra's Factories. I guess I'm just thinking about like Circle Protection Red and those type of cards.
Yes, that's a good question. And the reason why I only play one curse scroll is in this deck you're always using your mana.
Mm, mm, mm,
Oftentimes when I draw curse scroll, I'm using it first time turn 6 or 7
Yeah.
mm.
because you have manlands, you have ports, you have so many mana sinks that curse scroll ends up just sitting there on the board for a long time. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a great card and excellent against black decks because they can't remove it. Sometimes
Mhm.
it just wins the game against black decks. But I think, yeah, most of the times I'm giving preference to the more efficient threats, Mishra's Factory, or just porting the opponent that ends up being more our plan rather than, oh, let's activate scroll. Also, we don't empty our hands so quickly as mono red Ponza. Hence why only one scroll. But coming back to your question about the prison cards, I've seen versions that played Tanglewire. Tanglewire doesn't convince me as much, but Sphere of Resistance is one that could see play and that I have on my maybe board. We don't have mana dorks or ways to accelerate, but it's just another way of delaying your opponents. But turn 2 Sphere of Resistance needs specifically port or wasteland, right? You can't go turn 2 Sphere and then a Ponza effect. So that's what's prevented me from adding them to the deck. I may experiment adding them also because they help our bad matchups. Stasis, Stifle Not. That could be another option. But I think, they don't play so well with the rest of the deck. Only specifically with Port and Wasteland and, going, drawing more lands than your opponent and eventually, destroying their lands.
Is there a way to accelerate that? Like, have you tried Vox Diamonds or like Ancient Tombs or whatever? Like, or is it just
So I think Ancient Tombs is a big no-no for me, at least with the list looking like this, because again, you can't compromise on Port, Factory, Wasteland. You can't compromise on your red sources. We're already compromising. And you can't accelerate the pillage, right? It's specifically for Stone Rain or Avalanche Riders, which would still be a turn 3 play. So for me, Ancient Tomb is a no-no. There is another card that I didn't think of, Nick Borman here from the UK crew. I say UK crew, he's American, but he lives here. He mentioned the Jeweled Amulet. Which is a very cute card. 0 mana artifact. You can pay 1 mana to put a counter on it, and then you can use that counter later on to give 1 mana from the color of the mana you used previously. That sounds interesting, but it prevents our turn 1 threat. I think turn 1, if you go get to encampment or Fanatic or Lavamancer, Furnace, whatever, you're not going to put the counter into Jeweled Amulet. And it's not so great late game. Like I said, we have a lot of mana sinks. So you don't really want to be, putting counters into the Jeweled Amulet. So it would be used maybe once, and then it's just there. If we had Smokestack, maybe. If we're mono black Ponza, absolutely, because we have Braids, and you're going to sack it to Braids. And mono black Ponza also has no acceleration. So, but for me in mono black Ponza, this card makes perfect sense. Mono red Ponza, mixed feelings.
I hear you. Yeah, I mean, and if you're playing blue stacks versions, you have it's a Tinker outlet, right? Or taps to Tanglewire. There's so many synergy with that card, but it's an interesting one for sure. Cool. Yeah, there's some. I mean, we should also talk about your accomplishment here. Like, you've been consistent with this deck this year. So you won the April. That's the list we have talked about, like as our baseline. You won the April Discord Pre-Modern Webcam League. But then you mentioned in February, the Portugal Monthly, you came second place, lost to Enchantress. And then you finished third or fourth place in May also in Portugal Monthly with this deck. So
in June.
Sorry, June. Yeah,
I may be wrong, but one of the summer months.
Yeah, you're right. It's June. Yeah, but man, what a run!
Yeah, the deck's been pretty good to me. I think I took it to leagues 4 times, and 3 out of those 4 times I managed to top 8. Which is really good. And it's very fun to play. Like, the play patterns are quite fun. It's not, entirely linear. The decision of going for threat or furnace, or am I going to port now and wasteland later, or do I wasteland now and play another threat? There's a lot of thought involved about timing when playing this deck. It's really, really fun. I recommend it if folks haven't tried it yet. But the deck has been super good. for me, I parked it for now. I'm playing other things, as you can probably tell from me mentioning red white control and other things. But yeah, I think it's a great deck. It's unfortunately two of its worst matchups are two decks that you will likely face at big tournaments, and that's sort of what prevented me from taking it, to UK nationals or other big tournaments. But for webcam, you just punish all of the brews, right? As a Ponza deck.
How like does your opponent? Do they like enjoy the experience playing versus you, or is it like a lot of salty opponents can't play that? What's your experience there?
So far, I haven't noticed any particular hate.
Good.
Of my deck, but I think Ponza is well accepted in pre-modern.
Land denial is such a it's such a natural, like you have to accept that as one of the like big strategies in the format, right? So
yes,
yeah.
But I think most of the opponents I faced, they've all been showing good sportsmanship. Sometimes they just, I had such a great hand, I had this and this and this, I just couldn't cast it. I'm like, that's what I'm trying to do.
I still had all of this.
All right, I still had all of this. Sick.
All right. But yeah, like I'm really intrigued like I've been playing and looking for big mono red stuff, not like the usual burn decks. So it's cool to see stuff popping up.
Yeah,
I've been trying to build a wildfire deck for so long. Could you just like briefly say what's your wildfire deck that you mentioned playing?
Yeah, let me just quickly bring it up here. But yeah, the idea is that you want to consistently get to wildfire, so you have 4 burning wishes, and you have 3 wildfire in the deck. It's like a mud deck that plays mana rocks, and you have your sideboard looks very cute with a lot of one-offs and Decree of Annihilation. That's a very fun one to play against control, because they always think, I'm not gonna counter the wish, right? I'm gonna counter whatever he plays out of the wish, and then oops, it's Decree of Annihilation. But there's some other cool cards like Carifex Torch. I'm just quickly looking for the deck because I played it in May and I don't remember what I put in it, but it is very fun to play. It plays normal mud cards. It plays Fear of Resistance, Fire Diamond, Mind Stone, Trend Dynamo, Temporal Aperture. That's a very cute one. And of course you have Covetous Dragon, Karn, and a couple of Crater Helions.
Yeah.
And
Bam.
It's very fun to play.
Yeah. That's
I'll share the list with you if you're interested, Seb.
Yeah, of course. I would love to see it. Maybe I can add it in the show notes. But Temporal Aperture, that's like so you shuffle your library and reveal the top card, and you can play it for
free.
For free.
Until the end of turn, as long as that card is at the top.
And you can do it as an instant?
Yes, although in your deck, everything is pretty much sorcery speed. Just artifacts, big creatures, big spells.
No, but like you're not able to play it as an instant, the card. You're temporarily.
You could, if you activate in your opponent's turn. Let's say you have a red blast on the top of your library, you can cast that. I think it's not.
No, I was.
But you're constrained to timings of the card that you are playing. So you can play a
the
creature.
Spell is basically you're casting the spell still. It's not the temporal that putting it into play.
I gotcha. Yeah, it won't allow you to flash things.
Okay, and in that case, it's also you can still counter the spell also, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but that's a cool card.
Yeah, I'm not a red player.
Only costs 2 to play, so 5 to activate.
Yeah.
Shh.
I'm not
Let
a
me
red
dream.
player. I'm not a red player at all, but like Kai Buddha styled Covetous Dragon, Temporal
Yeah,
Puncture, man,
yeah.
I've had a lot of fun with that deck back in the day. So
Mm.
yeah.
I think those sort of decks are sort of beautiful also.
Yeah.
Like if you have like you can have some clean mountains and lands like that goes
100%.
for a lot of monocolored decks, but it's not the same sitting playing a mono blue deck with all the cards in your hand
Yeah,
as
for
like
sure.
playing out all those beautiful cards.
Hmm.
Oh, what's the mountain you playing in this deck in the Mono Red Ponza? What mountain?
On a red Ponza, I'm playing a mix of mountains. Actually, I think I play a few foiled mountains. I don't have just the one.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm a bit chaotic when it comes to basics,
Yeah,
and I have all
I don't know
different
if I
basics.
don't know if we can publish this episode anymore, Anton. I don't
Uh,
feel right
I,
about
I
this.
think it adds to the saltiness of your opponent. Like,
Okay,
oh
okay.
wait, you don't have any lands there, but look at my three mountains that are like mismatched, but they are in foil, so I
I
love
mean, I said sometimes. Other times I do like to have them. Just one
yeah.
basic
Mm.
type.
But do you go black bordered still or
Yes, everything
okay?
black border.
Border.
And in the mono red pawns, I think I have a few Odyssey and Invasion
Yeah.
basics, foil ones.
Mm.
They're all
Mm.
foil.
Yeah, I
That
remember. I
in
remember
particular.
you playing Foiled Invasion because I was playing Foiled Invasion like when I played Replenish as well. So we had a like was
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
nice
I remember.
board game.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
extra good when
Nice.
you're playing webcam games. You can
Hell
just put out the card and say it's something.
yeah. It's all about
Because
lighting,
of the
man.
glare.
No glare, no glare. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, this like what I want to take away also is Henry, you're like, yeah, 26 lands. When you describe it, it sounded like it's on the lower curveball
Hmm.
of things, which I
Yeah.
respect. Like a lot of players want to play like 24 lands or 23 lands. So like, yeah,
Mm.
playing 26 lands, kudos. But I could definitely see
Mm.
28 lands here as well. You want
Yeah.
to play
Yeah.
your lands, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I
I,
think the fourth Get to Encampment
Oh,
could also see um, play because it's a utility land, right? And it would be the 15th red source, so increase your chances of casting Pillage on turn 3. And Dust Bowl, I have it in the sideboard, but
yeah.
If Stifle Knot didn't see so much play and Sly and Moneyball and those monocolored decks, Dust Bowl for me would definitely be a main deck
mm.
card.
Yeah.
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 And like in 93 you ran between 17 and 22 lands.
Mm.
But I guess you had Moxen and stuff like that. So I don't know what's
But
what there.
even with Moxes, you want more lands, right?
Yeah. I can't. I'm a proponent for playing. Now you're playing like a Dust Bowl. I guess you can play better lands than that, but having a land in your sideboard is usually better than you think.
Yeah.
Like
Mm.
against you, for instance, I would love to have a like a
Two extra
basic
basics.
land.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've actually won a tournament in Vintage just because I I got deck checked and I played a card that wasn't allowed to be played. It wasn't even a good card, as I remember. It was maybe restricted or something. So maybe it was really good. I don't know. But then I got to put in an island instead, and like for 3 games, following games, I was like really happy having that mono, like basic
Yeah.
land. I
Mm.
was like, oh, I can fetch this. That's great.
I think it's something that a lot of players don't think about, just having extra lands,
Yeah.
utility lands in the sideboard. I mean,
Yeah.
unless they're playing Living Wish, then of course they'll bring
Yeah.
some lands in the sideboard. But I think sometimes it makes sense. And in the Ponza, for me, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And like sometimes you don't know. For instance, you're playing Anarchy and Charge of Fiend. Like if you up your curve, it's I guess sometimes you can just put in the Dust Bowl and have an extra land or whatever.
Mm.
Uh, so yeah, I think it's more to think about than if at first glance, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this a deck one should bring to Euros? The Euro champs coming up in Gdansk in 1 month. What do you say, Henry?
I'm not going to those, but
No.
I think it would be a fun deck to take for sure. but just accept that Stifle Knot or Enchantress can ruin your day. If you manage to avoid those, or be on the play against Enchantress, that's a matchup that being on the play makes a lot of difference. If you can port, their land and then go into the Ponza plan, because Enchantress doesn't play many lands, like around 22, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So there is a chance that you can get them into a mana screw situation. But yeah, I think if you were to take it to a big tournament, you need to have a solid plan against those two decks. Replenish, we're not too bad against. Granted, of course, they don't Sabo's Web turn one.
Turn one, yeah, seems good.
So proud. You're so proud. I'm glad that everyone can see your proud smile there.
Yeah.
But all of the other tier 1 decks, we are fine against.
Yeah.
Sly, Terrageddon, Moneyball, Goblins, Elves, Standstill, we're not too bad against it as well, especially after sideboarding. So, yeah, if you can get those decks instead of Stifle Knot and Enchantress.
I mean, that's not a bad place to be in, right? Like, you can't beat them all. You have to win the matchup lottery as well. So,
I think those decks can ruin your day anyhow, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
those type of decks where you can you had all the things, so it didn't matter what I played.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you really hate HFEB, definitely take Mono Red Ponza.
Yeah.
Especially with the furnaces in May.
Oh, yeah.
Because you just attack them from every angle. Wasteland, Fanatics, Lavamancers, furnaces to hit their grave. You have the red blasts afterwards to counter their shapeshifter. Yeah. HFEB is like one of our best matchups, I think.
Such a cool deck. Man, glad to have had you on, Henry. This, well done throughout this first half of the year. Yeah,
got a bit lucky. Not too bad. Thank you, guys.
And
a pleasure.
You already mentioned you're going for. Is it pink prison or is it more control? I guess with the red white. That's what you're building around right nowadays.
Well,
slinging
I always have a few decks in the pipeline. I work on multiple decks at the same time. But yeah, red white control. I may take it to a big tournament here. I'm trying to think of how we can make the tier 1 matchups better. Furnaces main, that's one of the options, because Terrageddon is bad for us. Psychotog is bad for us as well. Replenish, again, that was just a losing matchup without any graveyard hate. So I play Humility main and Furnaces, and there's a couple of other things. But anyway, I don't want to go too much into that, but that's definitely a deck that's been on my mind.
Yeah. And ours too now. So
sounds super awesome.
All right. I guess that's all. What's going on in the future, Anton? Are we looking forward for you mentioning the Euros and anything else we need to announce?
Probably.
I
have a Storm session in the books coming up here. There's a new iteration Doomsday Iggy thingy. So, but there's gonna be a lot of guests on that one, and you said, I'm not a store player, so I can skip out of that one. So I think that will come in 2 weeks or something. That's all I have in plan for now. But what about you, Seb? What do you have in store?
I don't know. I was thinking of doing some old school content, so I need to pick up on that, I guess. I don't have. It's the thing in this podcast. I've exchanged Åland for you, basically. So it has become very pre-modern oriented, and I play a lot of old school. So a lot of the people I meet, they're like, "What's? Are you gonna do in old school?" I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll pick that up. I promise.
You have Svante now.
I do. So, I do. But I have to manage everything. I was like, and then Svante joined me. It's much easier here.
When I bring the topics right there.
Like, this is going on. We need to talk about this. So I was like, sure.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah, and it's not always combat decks. Sometimes we even do Ponza decks. And I'm happy to do so.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Do you want me to say thank you, Anton? Or
Yeah, no. I just wanna say that I'm not a one-trick pony, but I do play a lot of combat decks. But I think all decks are pretty much cool.
My usual guess is like, what are we doing today? And it's like, I guess it's some combo oriented. And you're like, yeah. It's a new combo in town. Going out on, maybe I'm gonna talk about Doomsday in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean HFAB is such a cool deck, but it needs to be policed. So I guess play your furnaces and your bolts and your grim lava land and wastelands. Sounds solid.
Cool beans. Thanks again for joining, Henrik, Anton, and all the listeners out there. Ciao.
Ciao.